And it says we're live.
It lies. As always, keep the heat on now. Earlier it was cool, now it's heat. Donate, please.
Well, today it's back to cool.
Yeah, or buy one of these things.
Yes.
Uh,
15,
Same.
20, and $25.
As always, King brought to you by King Harves. If you order coffee from them, let them know you heard about it here. Also, apparently, there's a certain Democratic candidate for governor currently speaking at the local university campus, and we got or at least Rita got a picture of him.
Yeah. And
What?
never mind.
I woke up thinking it was gym day. I'm wearing my gym shirt.
Yeah.
I woke up thinking it was gym day, and it's not gym day.
Yeah. And we also are joined by Cedar, as usual, on
Cedar's here.
Thursday. And she brought cookies.
The
And we
second or third mom of the apocalypse. I'm
Yeah.
not sure which.
the Che Beto, yes. Good news on your therapy, Makaido. Glad to see that. Yeah. And I forgot what I was going to say.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Those drug deal tamales take effect pretty quick.
Yeah, they hit hard.
Yeah, drug deal tamales are in stock temporarily.
The my local dealer showed up, and it's like, I have tamales. I said, "Yay!" He said, "You want the jalapeno cheese?" It's like, no, spicy. You know better. So she hands me a block of a dozen, and I snatch up the block of a dozen, and then I gave her the boo-boo lip because they were frozen. And she goes, "It's okay, mijo. You'll be all right." But I can't eat one now. Well, you won't eat 6 now either, will you? Damn it.
Not that he's ever done that before they got him to our house.
I ate nine out of a dozen one time before I made it down the street. Right out of the steamer? Whoo!
Yeah. Yes, as a matter of fact, Truscott had the shortest ever length of time as a prime minister in England.
Woo, no kidding.
44 days.
She bailed with quickness.
Because
I don't
everything
think
that
that
they
was
put
long
up
time.
was wrong. Which
What?
one? Which version is that? Hang on.
Super Cleavers.
Oh, okay. Got something that doesn't rattle for you to play with today. Yeah, Jesse, that was one of the other ones I was going to bring up. VW, and that's not West Virginia.
No kidding.
That's VW over in Germany. They had some protesters decide to glue themselves to the floor in their display area.
All around a VW Bug.
And a
or something.
Porsche.
A Porsche, something. They glued themselves to the floor. And VW said that they had no problems with their right to protest.
Yep.
Then they shut off the lights and turned down the AC. And when the protesters then asked for a bowl to go potty in, VW said, nah.
Yeah,
And,
not so much.
The protesters are very wound up about the fact that they trespassed and glued themselves to the floor, and then VW wouldn't provide something for them to go potty in.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting that that's what we're hearing about, but we're not hearing about the massive demonstrations going on about rising costs of electricity and stuff all over Europe right now.
Yep.
Especially in France.
Massive demonstrations. But we hear about the VW guys.
And the
Because
French
they're
cops
idiots.
are not playing nice either.
No, they're
Yeah.
not.
Oh, I have seen some of those videos.
Yeah.
French
Ow.
cops took some lessons from the South African cops, near as I can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesse, that's the other thing they did is they locked the doors from the outside so nobody could bring them food. And they're not allowing them to order food in.
Nope. And the fact
I'm
that
sorry, if you squat in my house, I'm not letting you get pizza delivery.
no,
Yeah.
I love the fact that they turned the AC down to meat locker.
Yeah. Yeah, and they supposed scientists is not happy that with the treatment that he's receiving.
Get the hell over
Poor
it.
baby.
Yeah. 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 Jason says, too bad they don't have skunks to release in there. VW. Yeah. VW is providing the protesters food. It's just whatever VW provides.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. Yeah,
I wrote a story. and there was-
I
there-
might give them something that might make them have an accident.
Here's some Haribo sugar-free gummy bears.
Yeah.
I wrote a story one time about drive-by. They involved drive-by skunk flingings. There was a throwaway line about drive-by skunk flingings.
Yeah.
That actually has happened.
Yeah.
It was a family drama, as tends to happen, and one of the brothers,
Yeah.
Nick, comma Red, one each, trapped a skunk and drove by a picnic, being held by the brother he was feuding with, and flung the skunk as he went by at 40 miles an hour. And when a skunk hits the ground at 40,
Yeah. It kind of rolls.
oh, and it,
And it
loses
sprays.
control.
it lost control of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Alestra potato chips. Yes. They give them some Alestra potato
Oh.
chips.
With the anal leakage.
Yeah.
You know, though, I mean, you have to think about the poor janitors that work there.
Well, I've got a
That's
feeling
gonna be
they're
hazmat at that point.
they're
Yeah,
not
no
going to
kidding.
send the janitors in for a couple of days.
I wouldn't.
That's
Guys,
gonna
take
be
some days off.
Tyvek suits and pressure wash.
Yep.
No, that'd be walk in there, throw a mop at the protesters, say clean it up.
Yeah. Tell them the solvent was petroleum based. Yes.
The easiest way, the easiest and most humane way of getting a protester who's glued himself to something or herself, itself, whatever self, to something they should not have glued themselves to, is to take a firm two-handed grip on the wrist of the glued hand,
And yank.
place one foot against the surface to which they have glued themselves, and then straighten out your body. Do a
Yep.
deadlift. And when they start screaming and flopping, their hands come loose.
They might release a little bit of skin when they do that, but
I don't care. Honest to God, since they're swampies,
Yeah.
I would. Here's your food. I would spring for medium rare steaks. There you go. No. Sooner or later, it'll look good.
Yeah. Yeah, lack of planning on your part does not constitute anything on my part. Yep.
Of course, when they asked for a bowl, I showed up with some champagne corks and go, here you go.
Yeah. Yeah. Charge them the hazardous material removal. Yeah. Oh, God, yes. In other news, more serious news, for over 24 hours, DFW had to shut down a runway
What?
because of GPS interference.
Yeah.
Oh,
And it was out to about 40 nautical miles around DFW. And this is not the first time that something like this has happened.
that's not a good thing.
It happened up at Denver earlier in the year and went out almost 50 miles.
I'll bet Rick was losing his mind.
Yeah, I'm sure he was not happy. Yes, it was apparently being jammed, but they are unable to determine where the jamming was coming from because it appeared to be moving
Oh, that's not.
and expanding and contracting.
Raspberry Pi. I know for a fact that a jammer can be set up with a Raspberry Pi.
Yeah.
So anybody in their Subaru Mobile could be driving around and jamming everything to
Yeah.
hang on.
No, Andy, it doesn't take a drone. Jammer in a car or somebody sitting around just screwing around with it. Oh, and speaking of sitting around and screwing around, the Deer Shot Back and Other Hunting Stories is live and in print.
Yes, it is.
And please buy it.
Oh my God, that looks like Kelly.
Yes.
It is Kelly.
It is
I-
Kelly.
Dawn sent me the photo. Dawn sent me the photo so that I could use it as a reference. It's
Yeah,
a
for
much
those
younger-
who do not believe the suicidal deer story, that is true.
That's the suicidal deer story.
And we do have pictures. We have plenty of
Oh
pictures.
my God, you told that story.
Yes, yes,
That
he
is
did.
hilarious.
Yeah, Ag Tiger, you're exactly correct. a 5-watt transmitter can play havoc because the GPS signal you receive in your vehicle or airplane or whatever is about 500 milliwatts. So actually, any kind of jammer, white noise jammer that runs 2 or 3 watts or more will jam the signal. And you can do broadband jamming, or you can do other kinds of jamming, which I'm not going to get into here.
We don't need to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank has enough issues with us. So
Frankie, you drinking yet?
Yeah.
We found the candid shot of when you were dumb enough to open up that file.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, I put it up on the Nortex Troublemaker Facebook page. The title is Frank?
Yep. And Becky says, friend of mine hit a deer in Marin, totaled her car, deer ran off. She named the deer Bambo. Becky, all I've got to say is be glad it was a deer, not a Black Angus.
Well,
I had an adventure with the elk herd charging across the road at 2 a.m. And I missed the big buck, but the yearling just bounced off the front of my van and went under. Talk about a crunchy speed bump.
Oh, ow, yeah.
Yeah, it was not my idea of a good time.
You didn't go back and harvest it?
Well, the problem was the truck behind me stopped, and we're out there with flashlights going. Damn it! I hit it right in the stomach. So
oh,
yeah, it's like so. I was definitely
Yeah.
interested. But no, we had one that had charged my daughter in the front yard, and it became soup.
Yeah.
hate to say this, but there's a sheriff's office that a sheriff who's no longer with us who taught me the fine art of ditch rolling deer.
Yeah.
Because the Bucksville County, the first one I went to work for, my
Yeah.
take-home pay was $999.72, I think, every week or every month. So it was less than $1,000 a month. And sheriff, after teaching me how to use a blackjack, taught me how to ditch roll a deer and fix fences.
Yeah, Don, we saw the results of your elk trying to jump the hood.
Yeah, we did.
Hey, made a nice
Convertible.
convertible hunting car that we were using there.
You're talking about your salary reminds me of something. The tiny town that we currently live in posted a want ad for a police officer.
Oh.
And I was mildly horrified to realize what they pay those poor men and women.
Yeah, it's
Decent
not
pay for this
much.
area.
$18 an hour.
Yeah, decent pay for this area.
Yeah, considering what they do, that's appallingly low.
I hate to tell.
No, I'm sure it's decent pay, but it's I don't think most people realize how little. Because it's like when Dad was an EMT, I know how much he made, which was like $25 a call for a volunteer. When I looked into becoming a paramedic, I reapprised that evaluation after I looked into what I would get paid to do such
Yeah.
a thing. And my son recently found out that the state of Texas will give him a full ride scholarship to go EMT or paramedic. So I had him look up what the average annual salary is, and he went back to welding being his guiding light.
Yeah, welding pays a damn sight. And understand that not so much for EMS these days. For EMS in the Panhandle, there's not a lot of private EMS. It's generally out of county. For first responders, generally, for deputies, for PD, for firemen, they're paid on a tax base.
Yep.
And if you don't have a tax base, there's only so much squeeze you can put on there.
Yeah.
So I remember I was in Tall Cotton when I was making $7.25 an hour as a security guard / EMT.
Yeah.
EMT / security guard. They needed EMTs. And I was in Tall Cotton because I was making $7.25 an hour.
Yeah. As Don points out, any job you're doing for the good of others generally doesn't pay well.
Yeah,
Yep.
it sucks.
My daughter was a 10-year professional, nationally certified paramedic in California, making $18.60 an hour. You know how much the trash people were making?
Damn sight more.
$26 an hour.
Yep.
So the people that picked up their trash in California made more than she did as a paramedic
Yep.
saving lives.
And I
Because
like,
the trash people were unionized and the paramedics weren't.
I'm a big fan of county run or city run EMSs, not attached to Kelly Grace and I agree on this wholeheartedly that EMS should not be attached to the fire department
No.
because they really, no, the EMS should be a separate entity. And a lot of the places in the panhandle, the EMS is run by the county under the auspices of the county judge. And really great EMTs, but pay not so good.
Yeah. Well, it's been that way for years.
Oh, yeah.
And the fire departments where they are in the fire department, about 80% of the time they are sitting around because they have nothing to do other than go on fire calls.
They become firemen with
Yeah.
an extra rocker.
Yeah.
Which good paramedics, good EMTs should not be an also ran.
Yeah.
I know my dad had to do that a lot, have the fireman train because they couldn't have him just as a medic. And it always had to be dual.
Yeah.
And he wound up doing that.
The one I've seen around here in Texas, generally speaking, the EMS is private or county.
Yeah.
There's a couple places where it's attached to the fire department. It's a subset of the fire department. And inevitably, and I've seen this up close and personal my own self, the budget for the EMTs or the rescue part of it goes to the firemen, and then they trim some goodies for the if the city fathers or county commissioners, they'll set 1.5 million for the fire department, an extra 250,000 for EMTs. Out of that, the EMTs will get 50 grand of it. The other 200 grand will go to new fire truck.
Yep. They play that game all the time.
Oh yeah.
I can tell you, having been on a fire board, I was an elected official, which tells you just how crazy Oregon is. We made a point of making the line item for the EMTs completely separate and untouchable because we knew they weren't getting what they needed.
Yep.
So, and when you're isolated rural community, you got to make sure you have those folks.
That's why I'm a big fan of running the EMS or rescue squad or whatever you call it on the county level under the
Yeah.
county judge.
Now, the problem with the contract ambulance companies, though, is that they will go in and low bid
Mhm.
and run all the local companies out of
Yes,
business.
they will. I don't like for-profit EMS.
And
I
then
really
they
don't.
will come back in and try to hire the paramedics and EMTs that they've managed to run out of business
at lower than
at lower rates.
Yeah.
And then they will never totally fulfill their contracts.
I don't like. Part of me, I'm. Those of you know, I'm a capitalist. I firmly believe in free market capitalism. I really do. I just don't think that an emergency room or emergency medical services should be for profit.
Yeah.
I really don't. That grates me something fierce. Kelly has stories about valued repeat customers.
Yeah.
He's working for a for-profit EMS.
Frequent flyers.
And they're valued repeat customers, and that's apparently the way they're looked at, is valued repeat customers. And
Well, because you can charge Medicare for the transport, you're not going to get much, but you get something. And that's why if they transport anybody that actually has insurance, an ambulance ride's $2,000 or $3,000. A helicopter ride is $10,000 to $20,000.
I'm a complete capitalist. I am a running dog capitalist. I just don't think that emergency stabilization stuff should be at a profit. It sets my teeth on edge. I realize that's illogical, but I never claimed to be logical.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, Don, I'm saying a short helicopter ride. Yeah, your dad's was a little bit longer than what? Damn, they've gone up even more.
Oh yeah.
Right.
And the thing about
I was
for-profit-
wrong.
The thing about for-profit, anything for-profit, the profit pays for lobbyists.
Yep. It doesn't go to pay the employees. Trust me.
Now the profit goes to pay politicians to make things better for the company. not for the not for the employees or staff of the company, but for profit goes to it's
Yeah. Yeah, they and Rick, you're right. They do have the ambulance service subscriptions now.
Yeah, we had that in Oregon.
Yeah.
It's called Firebend. It was actually great because it stabilized a lot of budgets.
Yeah.
So
I don't have an issue with that at all. The hell was that? Oh,
That's not me.
you have a foo-foo ring on your phone.
that's
Oh.
better than the alarm he had on.
Oh, that was Alma chiming in.
Uh-oh.
I might have made a comment on her blog this morning about Semper Gumby.
Always flexible.
Yeah, and she says the school had no internet until 10 today. I might have been the only unfrazzled soul.
um, yeah, and things always start out good. They always start out with the best intentions, and then as soon as you put profit in there, and normally I don't mind.
Yeah.
Normally I really don't mind. I am Arab enough that water for profit really annoys me. In the desert, you never turn down. No, you never turn down water. You don't turn down water. Your worst enemy.
Yeah.
So there's enough that for-profit water services, great, but I can see the need for it. And if you're going into the hospital for-profit's fine.
Yeah.
But for emergency life stabilization, i.e. the ER, for profit, like I said, profit starts paying for lobbyists, and lobbyists never have the best interests of the patients at heart.
No.
When your medical company is paying for the lobbyists, they're not paying for the patients.
Well, the classic example to me was when UC Davis had to move to the new hospital. They originally looked at having the county run the transfers.
Mhm.
And they were less than happy with the service that they were getting. So Celesta ended up managing the entire transfer for UC Davis NICU. 160 babies got moved in less than 12 hours.
That's some pretty serious work because they're
Yeah, but Celeste did it right.
NICU
Yeah.
babies are very fragile.
Yeah.
Because I had one.
Yeah.
So
Anything ICU is fragile.
But she
Yeah, but
had
those are
every private ambulance service in the Sacramento County involved and made sure everybody got paid.
I know that, like I said, I'm a for-profit capitalist. I really am, and I realize that for-profit is probably the better idea, the better way of doing it.
Yeah.
But it still grates on me.
yeah.
I think-
accountable.
I think that one of the beautiful things about capitalism done right is it can provide for the extra
Yeah.
for charity done right. Both of which are difficult things, and they're both done rights there. with
Yeah,
capitalism
and
and the
that's
charity.
never going to happen here.
I miss the county charity hospitals.
And that's what I was thinking. It was the charity hospitals, because the for-profit hospitals are lacking in heart and soul.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, I can tell you the charity ones don't always have heart.
no, and but that's the thing about the done right
Yeah.
is that it's very difficult. But ideally, and
St. Anthony's Hospital in Amarillo and Baptist High Plains. St. Anthony's was run by Little Sisters of Mercy, some little penguins. There were these little penguins all up and down the hall. And that was a hell of a place. It was a charity hospital in Amarillo. Hell of a place to go. Didn't have cutting edge care, but by God, everybody got care.
Yeah.
And you had a penguin there to make sure, some little penguin with a rosary was there to make sure A, you behaved yourself, and B, you got what you needed.
Yeah. And the sad part is that a lot of the for-profits purposely ran the charity hospitals out of business.
Yes, they did.
Or sometimes the charities run the other hospitals out.
Well,
Big
which
hospital in Eugene, Oregon is called Sacred Heart. We called it Sacred Wallet.
Yeah.
well, that's why we don't have any more
Yeah.
charity hospitals in Texas is because of the for-profits.
Well,
And I
yeah.
miss the charity hospitals. EMTALA was not a good thing. EMTALA is the federal law. And trust me, okay, here's a rant. Oh,
Okay, here we go.
here's a rant.
Okay, everybody buckle in.
Okay, this one's near and dear to my heart, and I can go on this for hours and have with Kelly doing the cheerleader thing in the background.
Yeah.
U.S. healthcare system is screwed up,
Yeah.
and the reason the U.S. healthcare screwed up is solely completely on the federal bloody government. The federal government got its little dick snatchers off into healthcare, made it worse. Now, in most places, if you do something and you make a process worse, you stop doing it and try something else. No, in the US, when the government gets its dick beaters off in healthcare and screw it up, they not only do not stop doing whatever the hell they're doing that screwed it up, people go to them and say, fix it, and they make it worse. And then they make it worse. And then they make it worse again.
No,
And then they make it
stop
worse.
saying fix it. They need to say bugger the fuck off.
Yes,
Yeah.
Oh, I
because
get
the
that one,
federal government is the reason that the U.S. healthcare system is the train wreck it is, and the number of allegedly intelligent people that are begging, no, crying out for the U.S. government to step in and fix the problem they created to begin with is astounding to me.
Yeah.
So, Ian, tell us what you really think.
And I will have to agree with an earlier comment from Tom Rogby, drive by Baptist Hospital with a sucking chest wound. Yep. A lot of the so-called church hospitals really aren't.
No, not anymore.
They're company hospitals with that name on the front of what they used to be. And yes, the insurance companies are largely to blame for most of it.
And you know why? Because the federal government said, yes, we will allow you to do these things. Because they
Well-
had to get their dick snatchers off into the
I know. That was what started the PPOs and the HMOs.
HMOs.
Yeah.
When
Was
we
the government getting in the middle of shit.
when we first started coming to the States,
Yep.
we didn't have HMOs. And we would go to Dr. Fish in his house that was redone into a clinic. He worked out of a house right next to the library.
Yeah.
We would go to his house and we'd get done what needed doing. And then we came back, and all of a sudden there were HMOs. And this was a great idea by way of the federal government. Yeah, HMOs, we will take care of you from cradle to grave. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Now, started in whenever the hell it started. Now, do you realize you can't build? You know why all these pop-up ERs that aren't ERs are around?
Yeah. Because you can't build a hospital.
You cannot build a hospital without going through the government, and the government will tell you whether you can build a hospital there or not. That's not the government's goddamn business.
And the government will tell you how many beds you can have
It's not the government's business.
and what services you can have
Not the government's business.
and whether or not you can have a trauma center.
Again,
Or whether or not you can have an MRI machine, which you have to
Yeah.
pay $1 million to get a permit to even see if they will allow you to have one.
Yes, that is true. Which is exactly the reason that NHS failed in Canada and is failing in Europe.
Mm-hmm.
Because who was the lady that died in Canada because she couldn't get an MRI?
which one?
It was some actress.
Pick one, there's lots.
Yeah.
No, that's the thing of it. It's a federal government's problem. They've got their dick beaters off into businesses not theirs. They made it worse. And the people went, oh my God, it's bad. Government says, dun, 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 we'll fix it. No. And screw it up.
Yeah.
And people go, oh my God, it's screwed up. Fix it. Dun, 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 dun. And here
Yeah.
we are. And what are they doing? You need to fix this. It's their problem to begin with.
Yeah.
Get out of it. Everything from your dot, at the federal government level, has a damn thing to do with medicine. Needs to go away.
Jerry, I think you're right. I think it was Margot Kidder. But they recommended that she be flown to the U.S. to get an MRI. And before they could fly her down, she died.
That tends to happen.
Yeah. And had they gotten the MRI, she would have survived in all probability.
I can't, every one of these friggin' idiots
Yeah.
pendejos. They're going to get. We need single payer health, whatever the hell it's called, socialized medicine.
Yeah.
We need the government to take over everything. Doesn't matter. They've been fucking into cocktail for the last 60 years.
Yeah.
We need to give them total control of it. That's a good idea because we're morons.
Yep,
Yeah,
Bill.
VA is a good indication of how not to
Yeah.
run it.
If you think you like socialized medicine, you haven't dealt with the VA or the National Indian Healthcare Service.
Yeah.
Hey, socialized medicine. Yay.
No,
Morons.
Jesse. It is not Pendagex.
This moron.
Anyhow,
I just.
Well, I have been extremely lucky with the VA once
here,
I got out here
yeah,
because I was going to the main VA in Washington, D.C., and I'm here to tell you that sucked.
Tom has a good point. Tom says, had a child born in a German hospital. Excellent care for the 1970s. Unfortunately, he was born in 1992.
Yep.
yep.
They just,
I have to say, the emergency room in London when I blew out my knee was like visiting a third world country.
oh no, I've had healthcare in third world countries.
Yeah.
Get
well,
past the rattle shaking, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the X-ray guy hadn't bothered to show up because it's a government job. You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And
You're gonna get
changing
paid either
the
way.
Sheets on the tables, and they handed me some crutches and didn't do anything.
From the microbiologist perspective, the fact that the NHS no longer requires people of certain ethnicity to wash their hands,
Yeah.
let alone the fact that they allow some of the other egregious practices that are completely unsanitary. We have gone straight back to the era of when they were walking around through the entire damn hospital with their OR coats that were stiff with blood. So
Yeah.
you took them off and you set them up in the corner of the room and they just stood there.
We are literally one step away from shaking bone rattles at, if you're a
With-
certain
with-
ethnicity,
with-
ooga, ooga, ooga.
With traditional Chinese medicine creeping back into
Yes.
primary practice, we are right back there with the
Yeah.
bone
Well,
rattles.
as soon as science is a Western imposition, and what the hell is it?
It's racist.
Yeah, my squirrels have gone. It's you have to trust ethnic knowledge or
Oh, yeah.
some
Yeah.
bullshit like that. I just
Yeah.
And we need to start taking history books and standing on certain people's chests. This pendejo and his girlfriend Alexandria Occasional Cortex and beating them with the history books until something sinks in or they stop twitching. Don't care which.
You know what? Actually, I think a bone rattle would be superior to what we're doing right now, which is grinding the bone up and feeding it to people and telling them it's medicine.
Yeah.
The bone rattle at least doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
Indigenous knowledge is science. Yeah, that's it. That's it right there. Indigenous knowledge is shaking a bone rattle to make the demons depart the body. That's indigenous knowledge.
Sorry about your broken arm. Have you tried acupuncture? Yeah, that's Chinese. Crossbars and lampposts properly. Yes, that would be.
And the thing is, it's becoming widely accepted here through the whole naturopathy movement, which is quacks and snake oil.
Yeah. We went through that in the 1870s. Why the fuck are we back at it now?
We've gone right back full circle from here's a root
Oh, rattles.
to
Yeah.
here's a root.
I have a whole bunch of those medical pins. I bet I could make so much money off the pills that are still in them from the early 1900s.
Yeah.
Because the early 1900s at least put stuff in them that would actually help. Of course,
Like
nowadays
cocaine.
it's illegal to give people cocaine and morphine in those quantities.
But it's indigenous knowledge.
Coca-Cola originally had cocaine in it.
I know.
I just and cola nuts. Oh,
Yeah.
trust me, I have first-hand experience with cola nuts. Oh my god.
the days of prescribing laudanum and orgasms.
Oh wait. So,
What?
Hello.
Oh, you haven't
Now
heard
you have
about
my
that one?
Oh, I know. You just reminded me of it. My squirrels all snapped to attention just then.
They prescribed what was it called? A rigorous pelvic massage until there was a paroxysm of hysteria.
Okay.
That was how women were treated for women's problems.
Oh God.
That's better
More or
than
less,
shaking a
well,
bone
I mean,
rattle.
good drugs
That is
and
better
great
than-
sex.
It's
that way all along.
either that or a
Good
different
drugs
kind of
and great
bone rattle.
Right.
More for the broadcast.
Oh,
Oh my God.
they didn't prescribe it; they just induced it.
Y'all don't want to know what's happening inside of my skull right now.
The vibrator was initially a medical device.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And if the simple fact I was surprised the U.S. tells me the Puritans did not do us any favors.
Yeah. Well, I'm old enough. I can remember when doctors made house calls. Because my doctor, when I was a little boy, made house calls.
Inside of my head is just is
Glow sticks everywhere. Yes.
I had to
And the
follow
funny
on to my
thing
rant,
is,
and I've
I'm
forgotten
over
the whole
here
thing.
drawing a goat.
Yeah, she's drawing a goat. I had to follow up to that rant, and it's totally gone. It's totally gone. I don't remember a single part of it.
That's what we call derailing the conversation.
That was derailed with a quickness.
Oh, my goodness.
So, artist prompt for Cedar. Ian squirrels lined up, standing at attention with little keepy hats on.
Saluting.
Actually, digital. My family has tally books from our 5-time great grandfather, who was a doctor in Louisiana in the 1850s and 60s. And he got paid in chickens, pigs, shoats actually, and a mess of greens. And he delivered 2 babies, a pair of twins, for a shoat.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And one year he made a whole $2 in cash
Hmm.
in the entire year.
But if you're making enough in food to
Yeah.
eat, at least, I mean,
If you're making a dozen eggs every Friday
Yeah.
and a shoat every month, and
and you probably got people that helped you when something needed fixing around the house.
Yeah.
Barter is a
So-
wonderful thing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, it is.
Well,
And then
there's-
AMA came along and wrecked all of that.
I'm not going there.
Yep, you're right, Ag Tiger. It was good enough for them back then, and they lived pretty good. They actually had a store that sat up on the road. It's 1850s, so it was, a trail out through the woods. But that little community has existed for well over 100 years.
I posted. I don't know if I posted it here. I don't know if I posted on Facebook. I may have. This doctor does these little skits, little short TikTok skits, and one of them is Rural Doctor. And he's got a part 3 to Rural Doctor. It's getting paid.
Yeah.
And the second one, it's the rural emergency room, and there's a farmer that stopped doing the fence.
Oh yeah.
Well, in this one, he's come back. The farmer's come back for the follow up to his heart attack. He got bored, so he's reciting the clinic.
So this actually kind of makes me think about something I was watching, because I'm watching random YouTube videos, or rather listening to them while I'm working these days.
Mhm.
And YouTube being YouTube, you get jumped around from one thing to another.
Dude, their
So-
algorithms suck.
Oh yeah.
Their algorithms get strange.
Well, they do it
So,
on purpose, but that's beside the
I'm
point.
sure that they do, but the one that caught my attention the last couple of days is a young couple with a couple kids. They're American, and they've bought an old stone house in the Italian Alps.
Yeah.
Their land is a vertical
Yeah.
terraced, an old stone house, and it came with a donkey, which their kids love.
Yeah.
And I'm listening to them, and I'm hearing things between the lines, because they were talking about the fact that they couldn't do the renovation as quickly as they wanted because there's things they're just not allowed to do that they would like to be able to do on their own.
Yep.
And I'm thinking that I'm sure that the reason that they chose to do this was partly because they're homeschooling their kids and they thought it would be a great cultural exposure
Mhm.
to raise their kids in another country. They've also traveled extensively, but I don't think that they realize what they've bitten off.
No.
They never do.
Especially
Never
in
do.
Italy.
Well, okay, so have any of you read James P. Hogan writing about buying his Irish castle
Yes.
and
No.
discovering,
No.
well, he wrote this, he moved to Ireland for tax advantages because he was making money as an author. And when he got there, he realized that people in Ireland don't work the same as people in the US.
Hmm.
And then you have to know a guy who knows a guy.
Yeah.
And then you have to know the guy who actually knows the guy who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
And then
And they
you
are
have
not
to
the same person.
No. And then you have to bribe the right people
Yeah.
to get in line so your work gets done this year as opposed to 3 years from now. And if you've worked anywhere in Italy,
Yeah.
it's 10 times worse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was hearing between the lines, listening to these people talking about how fantastic their view is, and they have a house with no electricity or running water, or
Yeah.
Oh, that's a great view.
and winter is coming.
Backsheesh has built many a rumpus room. Yes, that's true.
No kidding.
Now, John, Texas is not bad compared to overseas. trust me.
Remembering I grew up overseas. Remembering I grew up in the third world. The Arabic third world.
Yeah.
What part wasn't pagan?
Yeah. Speaking of crap like YouTube, I saw one
Uh-oh.
today on Facebook that just Facebook that I look at some of the stuff that flows across my feed and go, what are these people thinking?
Yeah, there's your problem.
Yeah.
You're using that word.
Thinking.
Well, this was a video
It's an
by
expectation you have of people, Jim. It's going to get you in trouble every time.
yeah, I know, by Ken Hackathorn for Wilson, talking about the fact that as far as Ken Hackathorn is concerned, from 0 to 10 yards, having an RMR or a
Red dots.
red dot on your pistol is effectively useless.
It's not any faster than
It's not any faster unless you spend thousands of dollars
in thousands of hours,
and thousands of hours practicing acquiring.
which nobody
Yeah.
that reads that is.
Yeah.
And the thing is, Ken Hackathorn is an OG gunfight instructor.
Yeah.
Not gun school instructor, gunfight instructor. He started with Jeff Cooper
Yeah.
and the rest of them. He's OG. He knows of which he speaks. And a whole bunch of folks, oh, he's
Oh, he's too old. He's out of touch. He doesn't understand. And some of the other comments, well, I teach it a different way.
okay.
Okay,
that,
fine.
That doesn't mean he's wrong.
Yeah.
Just because your idiot ass teaches something differently does not mean somebody else is wrong.
Yeah. But that's the mentality that seems to be on Facebook today.
It's the mentality in social media, period.
Yeah. If you're old, you don't know anything.
Well,
The newest tactical Tommy thing is the it thing that you've got to have and got to do. And you got to go play their little games.
not a big fan.
Yeah.
You'll notice that I don't get involved in internet gun discussions anymore.
Oh, I don't either. I'd
Or-
like to go through and watch it and see when idiots like this pop up and watch the commentary.
Nope. Nope.
I mean, it gives me a laugh. It gives me a break.
It sends my blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because Ken Hackathorn, due to age, if nothing else, deserves respect, and he's not. And these idiots aren't giving him the respect. Simple fact that he is an older gentleman.
Yeah.
In a job area that tends to burn you out with a quickness.
Yeah.
And the fact that he has his graveyards
Yeah.
means he is due respect. You may think he's wrong. He may be wrong. Doesn't mean that you need to treat him with disrespect. And that just annoys the piss out of me.
Yeah. Yeah. CNR, still Forgotten Weapons, and Grand Thumb. Yeah. And those Grand Thumb is good for entertainment purposes. Yes.
I do not engage on unless I screw up. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen. Sometimes my squirrels let one loose, let one through.
Yeah.
I don't engage on weapons discussion or violence discussion anymore, because there's way too many people that have a couple of chapters of book learning and think they're all that in a bag of crisps,
Yeah.
and they're not.
Well, it's just like the whole thing with, oh, the latest and greatest is the appendix carry. What about that dude last week that had the SIG P320 negligent discharge with his hand off the gun?
Well, I want to see video because he says he did.
Yeah. But if that had been an appendix carry, guess what he'd be missing?
Well, depending on how he's carrying it.
Yeah.
Appendix carry is a very good. Appendix carry is a very good example of what I call the position soul dilemma.
Yeah.
It's Max Joseph, TFTT, introduced something that caught on with the tactical Timmies called position soul, position south in Portuguese.
Yeah.
And it's pointing, when you're not actively engaged target, you're pointing the gun straight down with a bent wrist. And everybody, oh my God, it's a bent wrist. It's not stable. It's not supposed to be stable, no, morons. Anyway, if you listen to Max, or if you talk to Max, who invented the damn thing, he'll tell you how and when to use it, why it's a good idea, why he developed it, and how to use it.
Yeah, it was developed for stacks.
It was developed because he was teaching South American police and got tired of getting muzzled every time he turned around.
And them shooting each other in the back when they were in a stack. Yeah.
It's great for a stack. It's great for, I like position soul.
Yeah.
But a whole bunch of tactical Timmies got a hold of it, saw Max doing it, thought it looked cool, and started teaching what they thought.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Appendix carry. Appendix carry is a great carry. I like it. I carry, it's either that or 4 o'clock. But I also got a whole bunch of good training from the people that developed it, understand how to do it, why to do it. There's a whole bunch of people, oh, that looks cool. They haven't any training in it. They seen a YouTube video or saw a picture of it and decided they knew how it worked.
Yeah.
And that's just stupid.
Well, it's like the, what was the bag holster that you pulled out of your pants?
Oh my God.
Yes, that doesn't sound good.
No.
I'm a complete noob when it comes to this stuff.
Well, it was
I
this.
gotta take this. Y'all got it for a minute.
Ah, shit.
We can do this.
Yeah. What he's describing, there she is.
Okay.
There was a carry thing came out. It's probably still out. I don't, but it was a pager. Everybody remember pagers?
Yes,
There's a
I
pager.
do. I'm not that young.
And then it was fixed to a leather, a J leather that went over your belt. And then you had it had a leather pouch that you had your gun in. What you do is you grab the pager, yanked up, and you had your gun. It's a stupid idea.
I can think of several ways that would go wrong.
No, it went wrong fairly often.
Although, also, what kind of leather are we talking about? A nice stiff leather? Or
Oh no, it
nice
was
supple leather.
no, it was the person that did it didn't know a damn thing about guns, didn't know a damn thing about carry, and decided to cash in on the market, and apparently made a crap ton of money before everybody went, that was stupid, and stopped buying his crap.
That seems to happen fairly often. People come up with bright ideas and then take the money and run.
Oh yeah, and God bless them for it. But man, the morons that support these people need to work at it.
I'm laughing at one of the comments about the female skin suit. For those of you that don't read Mad Genius Club, Sarah Hoyt's blog post the other day about the true identities of the writers on Mad Genius may amuse you. And yes, in the comments, we have devolved to how much do female skin suits cost? Because we're all men, you know.
Yeah.
No women write science fiction. And in fact, we're not even sure women exist.
Oh, for God's sake. There's another rant.
Yes, because the movement towards no female have written science fiction.
No
before
female has
about
written science fiction
2000.
ever.
And I mean,
They are underrepresented in science fiction writers.
I object to erasing history just because you want to feel
I
like
object to the
you're
idiocy.
special.
I object to the idiocy required to believe that bullshit.
No, it's because they don't study history. They don't study anything beyond when they became
Feels.
arguably sentient.
Oh, I know several slime molds that will achieve sentience before they do.
Slime molds are fascinating. I would prefer slime molds to some of these people.
There we go. But no, it's the again, take the history book, beat them in the forehead until they change shape or catch fire. But that's just me.
Are we sure they're women, Brennan? Are we sure?
Andre Norton. Andre Norton.
Mhm.
Arguably one of the most prolific and successful science fiction writers in 70s.
Oh my gosh, 60s through all the way up into, I think, early 80s. I'm trying to remember. I've got a bunch of her books at home, so I'm trying to remember.
Definitely female.
Publishing things. Lee Brackett, who didn't, I mean, Lee, the way she spells it, is the feminine version.
Hmm.
Usually, I mean, one of my sister's middle name is
And-
Lee.
And the plain simple fact of the matter, I don't think I'm that much of an outlier from the normal. When I saw a book, the ID of the author, I didn't have a picture in my head of what Andre Norton looked like. I just knew it would be a damn fine read. It's like, well, you don't buy that book because it's written by a black guy. What the hell was that idiot's name? There's some idiot.
Chip Delaney.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Delaney.
probably it. Well, they don't buy my books because I'm black. Nope, you don't write worth a shit.
Right. And somebody asked about a story idea of a slime mold who achieves sentience. I've written that, Lab Gremlins.
Yeah.
Because I like slime molds. What can I say?
Anne McCaffrey. Holy crap, I loved Anne McCaffrey's Dragon Riders.
Yeah.
Return.
No, I really liked those, and then the
And
oh
the
my
simple
gosh.
fact that her first name was Anne didn't mean anything to me. So, ooh,
Right.
these are words that attach to a person that writes a good story.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I saw the book. The book's not male or female. It is simply a good story. I didn't give a shit.
Well, especially, I mean, so right now we're on camera and people can see us, but usually if you're holding a book in your hands and there's not like an author photo on the book, which frequently there isn't anymore, or if the books are old enough, there wasn't back then,
Yeah.
then you have no idea who or what wrote what
Yeah.
you're reading.
The what was sometimes questionable.
Richard Brown. I thought sentient slime molds are elected to Congress. They are somewhat lacking in sentience.
Yeah.
I
Look at Fetterman.
I will argue the slime mold part, but they're not sentient.
Yeah. Just look at Fetterman. That's
Slime molds are less slimy than Congress.
That's the point.
Also, slime molds are really good at sensing what's in front of them, which congressmen seem to lack that ability to.
They can sense a
Predict the
dollar bill in front. They can
consequences?
sense a dollar bill at 100 feet.
Becky Jones says that's a total insult to slime mold. Yeah, it's when you're electing anybody to office, it's the best of a bad set of choices.
The people that seek office are deeply flawed to begin with.
Oh,
because-
yes.
Nobody wants to be elected. Should be elected.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
I have a friend who's been a psychiatric nurse for many years, and for the last 20 years,
Friend or provider?
a friend.
Okay, we'll go with that.
We're not going to question Jim's relationship.
Yeah. Who works in an office in the Arlington, Virginia area. And over 50% of the people she treats are Krungus critters, male and female.
I'm assuming her treatment doesn't include a closed car door, a hose, and a running engine.
No.
Damn it.
But I mean, electroshock therapy has come back into vogue, so you
Yeah.
can always hope.
440 volts.
Yeah. Yeah. And I have to apologize for stepping out, but that was actually the VA calling me with a follow-up on the new CPAP mask they sent me. So I know not everybody likes the VA, but like I said, Oklahoma City has done me right the last 6 years that I've been out here. So
And
the
they've been-
lesser of two weevils, yes.
and they've been treating my husband very well.
Yeah.
I deeply appreciate
The
that.
OKC VA hospital is one of the better ones. It honestly is.
But she did ask a lot of questions.
Electroshock therapy with 440. Leave the switch on till you smell the frying.
Oh, I do have to tell. Science projects. We were,
Boom. Oh wait,
yeah,
wrong science project.
yeah. Why am I suddenly craving bacon? Long pig. We were doing a science project, and I'll just leave it at that, that was going to be portable and go on other assets. Lower voltage, greater amperage. Yeah. So this was a one-of-a-kind system. And we were getting a dog and pony from the manufacturer,
Hmm.
the company that built it. So we went over to their facility and we're doing a walkthrough, and they've got the system up and running. And one of the people wanted some more light. So one of the engineers reached down to plug a light in and realized that the plug was full. So he unplugged a plug, moved it over to a different plug, and then plugged the light in, which promptly exploded. Well, while the light was exploding, the system was going down, and yeah, there was light.
Disease, kaboom.
Yeah, there was a lot of light for about a tenth of a second. And he realized what he'd done, so he quickly yanked the plug out, stuck it back in the other plug,
He said, it wasn't me.
and the system went because there were two sets of plugs next to each other. One was 120 and one was 440.
Plugged into the red one, didn't he?
And he plugged it in. Well, neither one of them was marked.
Oh,
So he
That's
plugged the
helpful.
440 into the 120, plugged the light into the 440,
let out the magic smoke.
let out the magic smoke, and then realized what he had done and plugged the 440 one back where it was supposed to be
And let out the magic smoke again.
and let out the magic smoke again
That's a trick.
and put the program 2 years behind.
Like you do.
And there was much wailing and gnashing of teeth that day.
The one time I got to visit a high level, I was somewhere doing something. Forget what the hell I was doing. Went to a tech lab for something. I forget what the hell it was. And there were big signs. And I was somewhat amused that the signs on every desk were red. And I quote, do not let the knuckle draggers touch anything. I was, my team lead wasn't, but I was greatly amused by the don't let the knuckle draggers touch a damn thing.
Yep. And yes, the outlets should have been labeled. They weren't. Do not look into the laser with the remaining eye. Yes. There is currently a kerfluffle going on within the Navy over a number of different systems. Finger poking is verboten. Yes.
Finger poking. No, 9 finger poking.
Yeah.
Do it.
One of which is a large UUV unmanned underwater vessel that Boeing got the contract to build. And they have failed miserably because Boeing builds airplanes. They don't build things that go underwater. The small company that should have gotten the contract, that had built the prototype, that worked like a champ, got kicked to the curb.
Because Boeing had more
Lobbyists and more pull. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now the Navy's out multiple millions of dollars on a piece of shit that doesn't work.
Well,
And it's all politics.
the great thing about the signs that were, I mean, they were literally everywhere. every console had a sign that said, "Do not let the knuckle draggers touch anything."
Yeah.
They were laminated, people.
Yeah. Well, the latest, actually, we talked about that on Tuesday. Never mind.
What did we talk about Tuesday? I forget.
Yeah. Yeah. Boeing doesn't build rockets either. They tried and have not been
Just
very
let
successful.
SpaceX build your rockets. That's just
Well, the only reason they got the P-8 was because they'd lost 3 contracts in a row to Lockheed, plus had to pay Lockheed $172 million for intellectual property theft. Yeah, sometimes the knuckle draggers did include suits, Rick.
I have suits.
Yeah.
I have suits.
Yeah. Ag Tiger, I'm glad you enjoyed that. The Way Borders was a different time and a different world where people could actually get things done without 42 layers of bureaucracy getting in the way.
Oh, 1712.
Yeah. 1712. Well, I did post the Bacon cartoon, which, by the way, Jeff Bacon, while he was doing the Navy cartoons, also happened to be an active duty naval officer,
Uh-oh.
which most people didn't realize. But he did one about, and this is the commissioning date for the United States Navy. And the guy standing next to him goes, and we have our first Liberty incident. Which is pretty much true.
Hmm.
Yeah. Do not forget to remove wrench from lathe jaws before powering up. Ow. You know, somebody had to have forgotten that to put that sign up.
Oh, yeah. And I'll guarantee you, once the sign went up, it happened at least one more time.
Oh, yeah. We'll learn it and train you. Yeah. Oh,
I've actually had one of my people, one of my better people, scare a bunch of techs into cardiac fibrillations by sticking his face through the ivy, dividing our eating area from theirs. And when I yelled at him and he pulled his head back, he had chicken bone under his nose. And this gentleman was dark. Had a hell of a sense of humor. And apparently scared a growth cycle off of the techs when they looked up from their coq au vin or whatever the hell they were eating, and his face was in the middle of the ivy with a chicken bone. They screamed like little girls.
Yeah. Do not use iron while wearing shirt. Yes.
Now you tell me.
There, you know, the sad part is all those warnings. Somebody had to actually do that.
Duh. Usually a knuckle dragger.
Dude, I need to iron this.
One of the entertaining things I get to do occasionally for work, like I'm doing because I have researching for a presentation on Monday, is reading the warning letters that the FDA sends out. And some of the things that people do, especially if you know enough to be able to read between the lines of the very first technical governmental, the one that got me was the university I graduated from had a warning letter from the FDA that was issued just this year.
Uh-oh.
Which there might have been a little schadenfreude there because there's a reason I didn't graduate from their microbiology program.
Yeah. RK says wax press skirts while wearing them called pressing off. Yeah, RK, that's the difference between y'all and the Navy. We never put on our pants until we got to the inspection site. And then we put our pants on in the parking lot so we didn't wrinkle them.
Or your hats.
Yeah.
Now I'm picturing a bunch of guys running around in tidy whities with their shirt tails flapping.
Yeah.
So I was right.
Yeah.
We actually,
And you didn't want to look at the bottom of the white socks because they were going to be black from the parking lot.
we actually had we were issued, I forget how many BDUs. Yes, folks, BDUs, ask your grandfather. We issued X number of BDUs. I forget how many. And one of them we took off base to the Mama San.
Yeah.
They're always Mama San. Even in Fort Hood, it's still a Mama San.
Yeah.
To have starched and ironed to a fare thee well all of the proper fruit salad applied, and then hung up in a plastic garment bag in a corner of the wall locker, never to be used until required.
Yep.
And the thing is that BDUs, and it states this, are not supposed to be starched.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. If you starch them, it wrecks the infrared masking ability. And
Yep.
I actually had a warrant officer tell me on my first duty station, have you ever seen a starched bush? I said, no. He said, don't starch your bushes. I went, okay.
Yeah. Actually, handkerchief, that Mama San is still there. They moved across the street. Oh,
But we had a pair of chloroframs. Anybody, do they still make chloroframs?
Yes, they
Yes,
still
they
make
make 'em.
chloroframs. I bought a pair for my son a couple years ago because Civil Air Patrol.
they suck.
They suck, but they look
Yes.
good.
Yes.
Had a pair of chloroframs and BDUs that, I mean, were useless, but man, they look good.
Yeah. We actually did a set of uniforms when I was in A school in Memphis. Set of dress whites that got left by somebody that left. And we actually starched them to the point that we stood them up in a corner, dressed them out, and put a hat on top. And they stood there for 2 months and never fell over.
I have a probable sign of my ADD, symptom of my ADD is I am extremely picky about what touches my skin.
Yeah.
I can't stand to have oily skin or sticky skin. I really can't.
Mhm.
I can put it off if the flow chart's taken over, I can put it off. But when it's back to normal time, I will climb out of my skin.
Mhm.
And one of the things I can't stand is the dust you get from a heavily starched BDUs.
Mhm.
I just, so if I had to wear the damn things, I would be wearing a pair of Ranger panties and a t-shirt, and I would jog to where I needed to be, usually outside the commander's office. Put the damn thing on in the bathroom, go running in there, get everything done as quick as possible, and get the hell out so I can skin out of the damn things, because, oh my God.
Yeah.
See, I thought that was normal because I can't stand I can't stand having dust on me or dirt. I
Yeah.
used to garden and then go scrub my hands because I also couldn't stand to wear gloves while I was gardening because I don't know.
Differ says the one in Cheyenne was a Jewish Mama San. Yeah. Yeah, they were everywhere.
Just sticky or oily on my skin.
Mhm.
And I need to wear my 110 SPF. Yes, they make it. Stop laughing. My 110 SPF sunscreen. And yes, I realize the extra 10 doesn't actually mean anything. It makes Rita feel better. Leave me alone. Is like heavyweight motor oil. It's like axle grease.
Mhm.
And when we were doing the Hotter than Hell stupidity, and I would have to go sit on a intersection in the Texas sunshine for 4 hours at a time, I would have to put this crap on. And I could keep my poo in a ball for about 4 hours. And then I was done. I mean, it did. It went on like axle grease. And it kept me from burning. But holy gods, oh Jesus, I
bought this for the feminine side of this. I bought a tinted moisturizer sunscreen thing because I thought I'll combine all of the things and so I wore this to Sunday breakfast and asked Jim how twitchy I was by the end of breakfast.
Yeah.
I wanted that stuff off me.
Yes.
I could feel it, and that was not good. So, moral of the lesson: if you have to wear sunscreen, don't buy the tinted stuff because it's like wearing clay.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, there's been an ongoing conversation about starch and BDUs and shining shoes. We learned how to spit shining shoes.
oh yeah.
I know.
It
My
just
dad
takes a
taught
while. I
me.
don't care.
It takes a while, and you got to have good wax, Lincoln wax.
So I can spit shine. I've
Yeah.
done it. It's a really great thing. And for chloroframs, I don't care. I wear them long enough to get paid, or I did,
You
long enough
can't,
to get paid, then bailed.
you
Yeah.
can't spit shine chloroframs.
No, chloroframs are what I did instead
Well,
of
they're
spit shining.
plastic shoes
Yeah.
anyway.
Yes.
It's what I did instead of spit shining. Because
Right.
Yeah.
you spit shine if you willing to sit in front of a tape player ask your grandparents' kids,
Yeah.
and listen and go through Whitesnake's debut album 4 times to get the damn thing spit shine. You can do it. It's just not worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze.
I used to crack up at the Air Force though, because they were spit shining flight boots.
Oh,
Mhm,
for God's sake.
I'm going, you guys are stupid.
mhm.
You know, you're spit shining flight boots. If you get to fire, those fucking things are going to catch fire on you.
Mhm.
Well, they won't. It's friggin' wax.
Well,
You
You're gonna
idiots.
have to waste a beer
Huh?
pouring it out on your feet that are on flame.
waste of beer, damn it.
Yeah.
It's
Uh.
a brush shine. When I was on the tracks, a brush shine is all you needed. Brush shine to keep, because
Yeah.
brush shine, you do shine your boots for a reason. It makes them water resistant, not waterproof. I don't
Yeah.
care, water
Mhm.
resistant. You shine your boots for a reason. Brush shine and drive on. The spit shine's stupid.
When I did Civil Air Patrol, Dad taught me how to spit shine. And yes, we spit shined flight boots because we were allowed to wear them, but we were Civil Air Patrol cadets.
Yeah.
If there was a fire anywhere near us, well, it was probably our fault, but also.
Yeah, Ben says beer and weed assist in the spit shining. Yeah, no. Guarantee you get enough beers in you, you're gonna screw up that shine.
Yep.
Mhm.
No, you guys sit there, and if the CQ was kind enough and rated the porno shop for some decent VHSs, kids, ask your granddad. You could sit there and get about 3/4 away per boot behind the green door.
Yeah.
Um,
We had that in the system as a test video.
it doesn't surprise me.
That's a whole different version of spit shine.
Hey, you were bringing up the laudanum earlier, so
No, I wear suede boots. When I wear my cowboy boots, they're suede. If I have a set of dress boots, I'll shine them. And I can put a good brush shine, but I will not spit shine cowboy boots. That's stupid and it's not necessary. Put a good brush shine on them and drive on.
Greg, that's a good point. I had forgotten about that. But they did take our footprints. And because flight boots are usually about the last thing to burn.
That's why you have your ID on your boots, because they'll.
Yep. And I always had a dog tag on my boot, one boot anyway.
Man, I posted something on Facebook.
Yeah.
Hazard 4 has.
Oh, hell. We've gone an hour, almost an hour 15, folks.
Holy crap. Anyway,
We're done.
We're having
Finish your
fun.
story.
Hazard 4 has blood type markers. And ever since basic training, I have put my blood type on my shoes. I have since learned, by way of a paramedic friend, not Kelly, that they're not going to pay any attention. But I've had usually 90-mile-an-hour tape and a Sharpie. I'll put my blood type on my shoes, on my footwear. Until Hazard 4, they came out with these things and I was lacing them into my shoes. I decided I've been retired for 2 years. I don't really need blood type. There's no need for blood type on my footwear anymore. That was a couple months ago. I'm still freaking out over the fact that I don't have my blood type on my shoes.
Well, put it back on your shoes and quit
I'm going to.
freaking out.
When I get home, I'm putting them back on my shoes.
Civilian emergency medicine can't pay attention to that because they'll be held liable if they make an assumption based on what you've got on your feet.
And I
Hell,
should-
I've seen them have people tell them what their blood type was and go, "Oh, we can't accept that. We have to type it ourselves."
Yep.
Really?
yeah,
It's the liability.
and so
stuff.
I've discovered it's not necessary and doesn't do any good anyway. And it's still
Thank you, lawyers.
It's still.
Yes, that's a whole other.
All right, folks. That's we're out of here. Thank you very much.
Y'all be safe.
Have a good weekend. Remember, don't sweat the petty stuff. Don't pet the sweaty stuff unless you want to. Bye.
Could be fun.